I'm just incredibly grateful for all of it. It's used all of me in a beautiful way. What has made this transition easy is you. I really believe that you are exactly the right person to take APC into the spaces and places that we're ready to go into now.
Have you heard the saying, the opposite of addiction is connection? We at the Addiction Prevention Coalition know that there's truth in that adage. And so we are fighting addiction face to face, conversation by conversation, creating connection. Here at The Shield, our new podcast, no topic is off limits because there are no limits when it comes to substance use disorder. Welcome to The Shield. With us today is a very special guest who's about ready to crawl out of her seat. The one, the only, Carie Wimberly. Welcome.
Good morning.
How you feeling in that chair?
Oh, not good.
So
this is a hard chair to sit in.
It is. Why is it so hard?
Because I don't even like being over there, as you know.
I do know.
But it's better over there.
Because you don't have to be on the hot seat.
Yeah. And everybody that comes in, I'm like, and they're nervous and they come in here, I'm like, it's all good. And now I'm like, I went out of the seat. Yes.
So you are here for lots of reasons.
Oh, goodness.
But this is going to be kind of a windy wheel of an episode because lots of twists and turns.
Yeah.
Because we're going to go forward and talk about what's next for you, but we're also going to go backwards a little bit and talk about how you got here.
Yeah.
And so we're recording this on December 2nd.
Yes.
And so it'll be released like mid-December. And so just for people who maybe are not brought up to speed, what is happening at the end of December?
Oh, goodness. I am retiring. Yeah, so I think I've told this story. I mean, lots of people know, but I would say a year and a half ago, I started. I'm a intuitive person, so there was something in me that the thought came that I needed to start thinking about what exit looks like. So, not something I really wanted or even that it was planned, but I knew instinctively that that I needed to make a change. And when I looked at just APC as a whole and where we had come from, where we were going, I feel like we grew and we kind of stabilized, and I feel that growth curve coming again. And I just knew that I wasn't up for it. I was tired. It's hard.
This is actually your second time retiring.
It is. I just keep retiring.
So, can you tell folks who maybe don't know, what was your first job? Because it was not. You didn't go to school and say, I want to work for a nonprofit and I want to be an executive director. What did you?
Yeah,
what was your first gig?
I always say my entry into nonprofit was a plot twist, not a career path. So yes, I went to. I got a degree in business from the University of Montevallo, and I got a minor.
I love how you say that, by the way, Montevallo. Montevallo.
I've been trying to teach you Southernese.
Look, I'm working on it.
I know,
okay?
but you got the mom and them.
I got the mom and them, and I got the flibberty gibbet.
Yeah.
And now I just need to say Montevallo. Sounds so dainty. And there ain't nothing about you that's dainty, Carie, except for how you say Montevallo. Okay, so you went to.
Okay, so I went to the University of Montevallo. And I got a degree in business, and I got a minor in computer science, which, okay, for you young people,
Is that like one of those huge computers?
You don't realize that hasn't been a thing for a long time. So,
you were on a cutting edge.
Yes,
and you were a woman, in computer science.
Okay, so that's so interesting because I've got a friend that we went to dinner with just recently, and she's like, you're a trendsetter.
Yeah, that's like some Hidden Figures
And
type
I was
of
just
stuff.
like,
I mean, not exactly.
what
but,
are you talking about? But yes, I didn't realize it. But, I was like the first class that had a computer science minor. They just started it.
And how many women were there in your class?
Not many.
Well, yeah, that's why you're a trendsetter.
So,
you're so good at taking compliments.
I know. I hate those. Ask my husband. He says I deflect every one of them.
You do deflect. Okay, so you go to school and you get this degree.
So then I got offered a internship at the phone company.
At
South Central Bell.
Okay.
Which it was because of the computer minor.
Gotcha.
So my computer science professor called me into this, and actually I went to Montevallo the other day because my granddaughter's going there, and went to have dinner with her, and we walked around the campus a little bit, and I was telling her this story. But he called me to his office, and he offered me this, internship, whatever, and it was paid. I mean, whatever, but it was like some co-op semester you work and semester you go to school. And I was like, no, I want to finish. I'm burnt out. I'm trying to get done with this school, whatever. And he's like, okay, no problem. I'm walking back to my dorm, and I'm like, you idiot.
It was that intuition again.
Yes, turn around. And I ran back to his office and said, you haven't asked anybody else, have you? He's like, I haven't had time to. But anyway, I went and worked there for several semesters, which extended my graduation. But then they offered me a job.
Wow.
Which was, it was a great job. And so I was a programmer.
Fresh out of college. That is.
Yeah.
And then you were a programmer.
I was a programmer.
Is that like ones and zeros?
Yes.
Whoa.
And it was, it was COBOL and Fortran, mainframe.
I don't even know what you're saying. I'm blacked out. But
I was, I worked there and kind of moved up and around. And I loved the phone company. They were, at that time, they were people started working there and worked there for 30 years. You didn't go anywhere. And they would move you around. So every 3 or 4 years, you would go to a different place.
You get to do a little something different.
So that you didn't get, burn out.
Stale and stagnant. That's awesome.
But then, by the time I got ready to leave, I was managing a group of 17 programmers. And all of them were men, except for one female. And it was so weird because it didn't occur to me until later, looking back, that was just the beginning of the time where women were entering the workforce, entering in the management space, getting promoted, moving into, and that was, part of it was fun and part of it was uncomfortable.
Sure. Oh, sure.
A lot of those guys didn't want to report to a female, and they let me know that. So,
how long were you in total at the phone company?
22 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so then you retired, or you knew, were you thinking you were going to retire and play with your grandkids?
Well, my stepdaughter got pregnant with quadruplets, and they were living with us at the time because they were relocating from Atlanta. And once we figured out there were 4 babies coming, we just said, they actually had a little contract on a house, and we're like, you got to get out of that because there's no way you can take care of 4 babies by yourself. So we basically just renovated our house to have a nursery and a feeding room, and put gates up around the dining room, and got rid of the dining room furniture and put foam down and did all the things. So I took a family leave when they were born for about 3 months, and then went back to work. And of course that was hard.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, that was I want to be with these babies, and she actually needs help. So anyway, at the same intersection, this was right before, this was Bell South at the time, then they were going to AT&T, and so they did a early out.
Oh.
And
And you were like, check, please.
yes. And so it actually ended up being my department, and it ended up being where they do your age plus years of service, and then they give you 10 years. And so, like, by about 2 months, I made it through. So I was able to retire and get lifetime benefits and all kinds of stuff.
Awesome.
So left there, and then took care of babies for a while, and then we moved because they needed the house, and we didn't really need that big house anymore. So we built a little house on a lake, and then I'm like, okay, I've got some time on my hands, and so decided to go back to work. Ended up having a friend that worked at a church that was right across the street, and then she's like, hey, they're hiring, and so I went over there, and at this point, my husband and I were already doing recovery ministry at churches. And so anyway, ended up going to work for the church across the street as a ministry assistant and doing graphics, which I had no idea how to do. He was an ex-programmer. I think he hired me because I was an ex-programmer. But anyway, so then we helped plant a church in Chelsea.
What does that mean?
That means this big church financed opening another church down in Chelsea. And so Art and I went, and this pastor and his wife, and basically for 8 years I was the church administrator for that. And we planted a recovery ministry there, which was really successful. I mean, there was just a lot of people that found a place there. Yeah. And that was hard because the church basically didn't make it after 8 years, so it closed. And so that was our community for a long time, with the people in recovery. And I think that's one of the things, that's what brought me to APC. I'll come back to that. But one of the things.
I like how you don't even need me to ask questions. You're okay. Come on.
You asked me one question.
No, come on. Go. Keep going.
And I say Art's the storyteller.
Right.
See, I don't get to talk much.
I'm
don't know
listening.
if you met Art.
I have. Yes,
so,
he's a real flibberty gibbet.
Yeah. He is for flibberty gibbet.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
So you are there, and the church.
So the church closes. And so then I don't have a job. So by this point, and I'm not even going to go into. I mean, our children have struggled with addiction, and that's what got us into recovery ministry in churches. By this point, I had been part of probably 8 year-long step studies. So, I mean, I'm immersed in 12 steps, which,
right.
And I don't have a substance addiction, but the recovery ministry that we did, it was open to everybody, because we all struggle with something. Mm-hmm. And so I saw this job. The job was a director of operations role at Addiction Prevention Coalition, a nonprofit. And I was like, that would be very cool to be working in the field that I've been working at night on. And I'm certainly passionate about it. And then the lure of prevention caught me because of all of the pain and all of the things that we have gone through as a family.
For sure.
I start to cry.
So you come to APC about 8 years ago.
Yes.
Right? And 2 years in, you became executive director.
Surprise.
Plot twist.
I think it was in the middle of COVID, too.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact.
We blocked those things out.
Yes, I don't even know how we did that, but whatever. We're here.
So you've been here a total of 8 years.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you a couple of questions about like your time here at APC. Okay. So these are going to be kind of rapid fire.
All right.
Okay?
I don't do rapid fire.
I know, but we're going to try. Okay. I'm in this seat. Okay.
I know, and you are rapid fire, so go ahead.
So, what is the thing you're most proud of accomplishing at APC in your time, either as executive director or ops or both? What are you most proud of?
I think, two things. One is that I didn't quit.
Hey, word. Yep.
I had no idea what nonprofits do and how they run. And so the learning curve was steep. Mm-hmm. And there were days and weeks where I'm like, I am over my head. There's no way I'm going to be able to. But I don't know, us type 1s, we don't like to fail.
No, we don't.
So I'm proud of just enduring, because there's been some tough moments. But I think what I'm most proud of is the partnerships, the growing relationships. I think part of it became evident when we did the first strategic review of moving into prevention, and there's so many incredible organizations in Birmingham and in Central Alabama that work in this space, but they were disconnected, and we realized pretty early on that APC, because we weren't tied to any space, could provide a service by trying to bring those
be a convener,
yes,
connection. And
I think when I got to APC, they weren't that connected into the recovery space, just because there wasn't anybody there that was, and they were tiny. I mean, they were very small. So I think because of my background, and I was so passionate about what 12-Step had done for me personally, and because we had done recovery ministry in churches, and art's a big part of this too, we were able to start really, bringing people in and saying, hey, how can we help? What's the need?
Yeah.
But I would say just building those partnerships, and that's been one of the things that I had a lot of doubts coming into, especially the ED role, but that has brought me a lot of joy, and I've had a lot of fulfillment in doing that.
That was not rapid fire, but it was a great answer.
Dang it. Okay, I'll do better.
All right. How about biggest surprise in this role?
Oh, goodness. Biggest surprise. See, let me tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to say something right here, and then tonight when I wake up at 2,
like, oh,
that was it.
That's what I should have said.
I think one of the things was that we could get a federal grant. Did you have that?
For sure. It's like, what?
I know, like everybody said, y'all should apply for this. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, we're a little nobody in Birmingham, Alabama.
Right. Why are they going to give this to us? Yeah.
And totally. I can remember my coworker, Angela, that first I was in the car and she called me. She's like, Carie, we got it. And I said, we got what? We got this grant, PFS, SPS, PFS. I was like, what? I was like, what did we say we were going to do?
Well, see, that's the thing, right? It's like, what's the worst that happens? Oh, the worst that happens is we get it, and now we have to figure out how to do it.
Yes.
Like, and what did we say we were going to do, and how are we going to do this, and by when? Oh, my gosh.
But I mean, like, I was, like, shocked.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you can do this.
Yeah.
And you can do it well.
Totally.
And it's not just you get one, like, then to do it, and to do it in a way that your project officer is like, hey, I want you to talk
Great
to so-and-so.
job. Totally.
Can you help so-and-so? Because they're really struggling, And I was like, wow, we can do this. We can play in this space, and make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So that was at least one of them.
How about like a program or project that you were like unsure about, and now it's just like gangbusters? You're just like,
Okay,
we are killing this.
Okay, it's the mental health training grant. Because
Another federal grant.
Yes, so we didn't get it the first time.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And we were crushed.
Yeah.
Personally, I was crushed because we worked hard on that application, and I could see how it merged with all the other things we were doing. So I already had it in my head.
Right, in your head, it's like
it's
a no-brainer.
Yes, puzzle piece, it's going to work. And we didn't get it. I was like, dang, But then, I don't know, 8 months later, I get an email. Are you still interested? So I don't know. I guess they had funds left over. And so at this point, we had gotten several grants and state grants and others. So we were very busy. So I talked to the team about it, and everybody's like, we can't take on one more. We cannot. And so I was right there. And then it was like one of those, like, putting my makeup on in the morning. And I'm like, heck yeah, we're going to take that. Because we were saying no because we felt like, I think we had said we were going to train 500 people the first year. And we're like, there's no way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. 500 is not. So then what I did is I called a bunch of partners and said, if we said yes to this, is this something you would want? Yes. And now,
right,
you've seen what's going on.
Yes, I have.
But I mean, it's, and our partners have made it successful. You know, I mean, yes, we're doing a bunch of the trainings, but we're also have other people, other organizations, Cheryl Dodson, who's killing it.
Absolutely crushing it.
Oh my gosh, all over the state.
And the need is great.
Yes, and
the
people
demand,
are responding.
Yes, that's right.
So I look back on that and say, thank goodness. Because, I mean, to me, it's changed partly of what we do. Mm-hmm. It's broadened,
I think, what we do.
And
but not mission creep. It's just
exactly.
It's just widened the net a little bit about what we can do.
Yes.
And they're so related, mental health and substance use. I mean, right?
How was that? Wasn't any better, was it?
No, that was good.
Okay,
it was good. I don't expect this to be a short answer. I was going to ask, who's your best hire? Next question. What are you going to miss the most?
See, I don't want to say this because this is what you said on yours because I watched yours. And I don't want to repeat.
You can repeat. I'm pretty sure the people who are listening to my last podcast episode in St. Louis are not listening to this one. I mean, there might be, hey Ellis Fitzwalter, and two people who listen to both, but that's about it.
You're popular there.
Oh,
you don't know.
Get out of here. You're deflecting again.
Oh, okay.
What is the thing you're going to miss the most?
I mean, by far the people. I mean, the relationships. No, I think that has been the hardest, I keep telling people, this is a terrible thing to say, but I keep telling people I'm dead man walking around here, because I mean, it's all a natural process and it happens the way it's supposed to. But because you just did it, it's very hard. It's emotional, and it's you feel like it's your baby. You worked so hard, you've invested so much. But it's not because. I mean, yes, I'm motivated, and we're very similar in that hardworking people, and motivated to achieve and get things done. But I mean the drive is so deep to make a difference and to do whatever. But at the end of the day, it is the relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the team. I mean, and yes, it's an evolving team. and that happens in nonprofits, which was one of the things that I had to figure out.
Yeah.
It's
a hard lesson.
It's hard, and I was so frustrated because being in a constant hiring phase and finding the most incredible people that I adore. But they find another incredible job, as they should.
As they should. If we're doing our job well, our team is like an incubator.
Yes.
And then they go and achieve amazing things, but
Yes.
remember us and hopefully donate someday.
Yeah.
Or come and join our board.
Yes.
But if we're doing our job well,
Yeah.
they leave.
Yeah.
Just like kids when they go to school or military or whatever they're doing.
Yeah. So, but it's been such a joy to work with so many amazing people, you included, that, I don't know, it's hard to, and I think the other thing, forget this being a short answer.
It's okay.
I think as I'm winding down, being able to reflect back, like being in a nonprofit space and being with such incredible people, working with them, it has been amazing to be able to sit in rooms where we're talking about the whole, spectrum from, prevention to sober living and beyond, and point out the holes and say, what can we do in that space to be innovative, to be flexible, to be able to do these things. I mean, my first career was in the corporate world. Not a lot of flexibility there, which, I was just growing up in that space. Didn't even know that there wasn't, because that's all I knew.
Right.
And then working in the church world where you're a female, so you can't lead. And then coming in this space, and I'm like, this is amazing.
And our team, Sans 1, is all female.
Yes.
Right? A nonprofit, at least in this field, is pretty female dominated.
And I have loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And
the flexibility with nonprofits is...
Yes. You can be so innovative. And that's been another thing with the grants that has been a treat. As long as you're working really hard, they're okay with it. And I think they even encourage it, to look for new solutions to old problems. So I'll miss that piece, that collaboration, innovation, of sitting around the table.
But you're also not like, going to go sit on your rocking chair.
No.
Right?
I don't think I ever am.
No. So for those people who don't know, so you're going to stay on in a consultant role for about 6 months, and you'll be doing the family support groups, right?
Yes.
And you'll assist with the walk, because this will be my first one. So
it's going to be fun.
It's going to be amazing. I'm very excited about it. I'm excited to see it in action. And so you'll sort of you'll be my consigliere for 6 months, right? Like if I need advice or
whatever.
Yes, but you will be. You better pick up that phone.
Oh my God.
But then you're also, at the same time that you're going to be a consultant for us, you also have another chapter. What is this? I've lost count of Carrie's 9 lives here, but another this wouldn't exactly be
another adventure.
This isn't, to me, a plot twist, though. This is like a culmination of your previous 2 jobs. So what is this third entree that you're doing?
All right. So
because you can't just sit still.
I cannot.
No.
I think you sit still, you die. You know
Whoa.
what I'm saying?
It's intense, Carie.
I mean,
I do believe in inertia, though, right? Like
mean-
an object in motion stays in motion. Like,
I mean-
by the way, I just said I believe in inertia. Like, it's not like a scientific principle, but
so
like,
at one point, do we have to decide I agree or I don't agree?
right. No. Like,
Okay.
what I'm saying is
Okay.
that is a scientific principle,
Yes.
okay, that's well-founded. But I
Yes.
mean, I believe in that for people. That, like, to your
Yes.
point, like, my mom, really, honestly, complains a lot about the fact that her friends are, like, mid-60s, early 70s, and a lot of them don't want to do anything. She's like, I just want to travel, and she volunteers, and she is busier than me most of the time.
Yeah.
But she's like, I don't want to get stagnant.
Yes.
And I feel like you have a very similar mentality, too.
Yes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm probably going to sleep in a couple of days.
Well,
you know what I'm
good.
saying?
Okay.
I'm tired.
Don't go shopping, though.
Yes.
Art might have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, no, that's off limits. Yes, whole new mindset now. But
Yeah, right.
So the marketing consultant that APC has used for quite some time,
Cherry Grove Creative.
What is she? CEO, president, and whatever of
Founder,
that founder.
Jen Campbell.
Jen Campbell. So part of, again, it's not a long story. Part of what happened during the
I feel
pandemic.
like this is just Southern.
Hey, you did. Hey, you chose your words very carefully during your podcast.
It's true.
Okay. So what
It is the thing that
Okay.
I am having the hardest time getting used to. Everything takes a beat here. Everybody wants to chat on the phone, not just zip an email or a text. Everybody wants to catch up. It's meetings you think are going to last 30 minutes, take 3 hours. It's just, and people are telling me to slow down.
down.
In the one-on-ones, I said, what would you like to see more of from me? What would you like to see less of? And like without fail, every single staff person was like, could you slow down a little bit? And I'm like, this is slow. This is slow.
This is me slow.
This is me slow. This is me like not hyper caffeinated. Anyway, I digress. Okay, I'm leaning in. Tell me your story about Cherry Grove Creative.
Okay, so Jen and I, as we started getting these grants,
Yes.
media became part of those grant processes because the world is changing, and we've started figuring out that you're not going to educate people with paper and putting posters up on light poles anymore. I mean, people don't read those. And so then the pandemic hit. So it was almost everything that we were doing turned into media,
Right.
because we had no other options.
Yeah.
Especially
I mean,
with
you
students.
had to hit eyeballs, and how
Yes.
else are you going to do that?
Everybody's on a screen.
Digital. Right.
So we started trying some things, and we would learn with each one of those, that worked, that didn't. And for whatever reason, I think, well, like you said, because of my background, programming and graphics, and I got very interested and have loved that piece of the puzzle
Yeah.
at APC. So
And it has expanded our reach pretty significantly.
it really has. And I mean, it's hard to, like when you're talking to somebody that really doesn't understand the role of media, especially in prevention, they're like, you spend what on what? But when you go back and look at it, you can see, before we started, nobody knew who APC was, and across the state now people recognize both who we are and what we are and what we do. And that's important. It's hard to, put your finger on it, but you can see it.
Well, because if you don't have brand recognition, name recognition, or even if you're not in their contemplation stage,
Yeah.
right? Like, then when they need help, when they need a resource, when they need support, they don't even know where to go.
Exactly.
So if you can bombard them in subtle ways and not so subtle ways with the message and with the images and with the logo and with the name, then maybe, just maybe,
Yep.
when they do need help and support, they know where to go.
Yeah, I think I told you this story, but okay, pause. I need to cough.
You can cough. We're not pausing.
Excuse me. Okay. Art was at the gym one day. Well, first of all, when you wear your T-shirt, your walk T-shirt,
Right.
you'll go into restaurants and somebody will come up and say something to you, which I love. But Art was in the gym and he had on an APC T-shirt because that's really his whole wardrobe. And it's got the shield right there. Mm-hmm. And he's walking in the hall and a guy looks at him and points at the shield and then does this.
Over his heart.
Art came home and I mean, like, that's it. That is like, that's it for me, you know. But
is that your legacy? That? Because we named the podcast The Shield for a reason. I mean, number one, the logo's killer. And the whole fighting addiction face-to-face, like, that's awesome. You had said to me, I don't think we should change the logo. I'm like, no kidding. We're not changing the logo. But do you think your legacy is the elevated awareness around APC being a resource? Or do you think it's the one-on-one connections that you make at your family support groups, with the people that we help provide scholarships to treatment? Like, what is your legacy? What do you want it to be? I mean, I know it's a million things, but what do you want it to be?
God, it's hard. I think I want people to trust us. And I don't think it was that way when I got here. I don't know why exactly, but I want you to be able to do the stuff in the schools that you do so well because the schools trust us. And we've worked really hard for that because it just wasn't there. Because, you know, nonprofits have a bad reputation.
Totally.
Of getting a little grant money, going in, doing a few things, and then they're gone. And I think in the spaces where we're needed the most, we've had to earn people's trust. And I wanted to do that.
You just have to keep showing up. That's how you do it.
And I wanted APC to be seen, the team. And every time I say I didn't do anything. I mean, it was all of us. But it means a lot for me, for the recovery community and the people that are doing the work, you know, day in and day out, to know that we authentically care. We authentically want to prevent. We authentically want to help people find recovery and stay sober. It's not just something we do at our day job.
Because it's a question we ask every person who interviews for a job here.
Yeah.
How have you seen addiction in your own life?
What's your why?
What's your why?
Well, you can't do this for very long without one. It's too hard, you know.
Well, if that's your legacy, the trust and the confidence, I think that is definitely going to live on through you.
You're sweet.
And because of you. It's true. It's true.
Well, it's been a wild ride. It really has. Nothing has been, my whole life has been a wild ride. Nothing worked the way I thought it would.
That's so hard for people like you and
Oh
me
my
to wrap
gosh.
our brains around.
And so I throw my hands up, and I didn't even finish telling what I'm going to do.
Go tell. What are you going to do?
Okay, I'm going to work with Jen Campbell
Yes.
at Cherry Grow Creative.
Yes.
And we are going to build and sell prevention media education campaigns, because through all this work, we recognize that everybody's not doing this. Everybody doesn't have the resources to do this. But the need is so great. So we started talking about it, and I got really excited thinking about could we join forces and put together materials in such a way that nonprofits all over the country could take advantage of this, even with modest resources.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many of them they don't have it.
Right.
But this is a need, and they don't have the money to be able
To
that
hire
we had the luxury
right.
of hiring somebody and being able to do this. But can't we do it on a scale where it's available to everybody? Especially the small ones, which is what I'm,
passionate about.
Yes.
Because APC was real small when you started.
We were one.
Real small.
Yes.
And you've more than doubled the budget, moved into a new location, like quadrupled followers and Facebook imprints and all the things. You've secured federal grants. You have an amazing board. Quite a legacy, my friend.
I'm trying to get out of this seat.
I know, right? How's that feel? It feels uncomfortable. All right, I'm going to take you off the hot seat, but
Thanks.
Really, I appreciate you sitting down. I know you were a little reluctant, but then it's important.
Yeah.
It's important. Anything else that I didn't ask? You can officially grab hold of the podcast host, Mike. Anything else I didn't ask you that you thought I should ask you?
No, I think I'm just incredibly grateful, really, for all of it. I feel like it's used all of me, but in a beautiful way. Mm-hmm. And how it happened and the opportunity, and I'm just incredibly grateful. But what I tell everybody is what has made this transition easy is you. So thank you for for saying yes. I can't believe how it's worked out.
And we still like each other.
Still like each other. We, respect the hell out of each other.
Yes, we do.
And I just am overwhelmed with gratitude for the opportunity, but gratitude to leave it in your hands and to, cheer you on from afar, because I really believe that you are exactly the right person to take APC into the spaces and places that we're ready to go into now.
We're ready.
And I couldn't
ready.
do that, So it's just a check that it was the right time, and
got us here.
And let's go.
Let's go.
Let's
I
do
won't.
it.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Onward.
Yeah. I appreciate
Onward.
you.
Right back at you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sitting down and being in that chair.
Yeah.
Really, just am so grateful to you for everything that you have done for me personally, but also for this amazing organization. I mean, what you have grown APC into is pretty incredible. And I know I say that a lot, and you might be like, oh, yeah, but it's actually really true.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Yeah.
If you liked what you heard, and ooh, I know you did, please consider rating, reviewing, and subscribing to The Shield. Thank you.